So welcome all of you students for the class of economics 11th. We are conducting the session of statistics. As you already know, we have just completed the first chapter of statistics. Now we are going through with second topic, that is collection of data. See students, we have already told you about the collection of data as we have undertaken the definition of statistics with singular sense, where the collection of data was the very first step in getting the data for the predetermined purpose. So with respect to collection of data, we say it's a primary step or stage for obtaining meaningful data according to predetermined purpose through various sources that will be classified as primary and secondary sources. It means whenever we talk about the data to be collected, we just need to see all such sources, but before that we just need to frame the suitable objective for the purpose of collecting data, or we can say for which the data has to be collected. So when we talk about the collection data, you just need to know and analyze what will be the sources that will be primary or secondary sources that we are going to discuss now. Fine. So with respect to collection of data, as I told you, the primary sources will be giving you the primary data that will be pure original in nature, but little bit expensive for specific objective, because primary data always concerned with a particular objective to be fulfilled. Okay, then it covers short area, very short area. Why so? We are going to discuss as and when we are discussing. We will be discussing the sources of primary data. Then, with respect to secondary sources, they will give you secondary data. Means they can give you published data. They will be rather much cheap than primary data. Can be used for any purpose, covers long distance areas also. So basically these are some of the few features by which we can say we have primary sources and secondary sources for the collection of data. Where primary sources are original in nature, you obtain usually by personal contact with the informants, where secondary data usually collected from the published sources and other. Right, they are relatively much least expensive, or we can say cheap or reasonable than primary data. Fine. So when we told you that this will be the collection of data and this will be the sources of primary and secondary data, we are discussing now the sources of primary data. So primary data has basically four sources of collection of data. First, that is direct personal investigation or direct personal interview. Right. Second will be indirect oral interview. Right. Third will be basically information from local correspondents, or we can say the editors or whatever the correspondent that are running for the news channel and getting information from various parts of the regions. And fourth one will be the information can be collected through questionnaires and enumerators. So here we are discussing the 2 points. First is direct personal investigation or interview. See, we just need to understand these methods from the viewpoint of features, merits and demerits. Features tell us that they cover the small area, original in nature, confidential, high accuracy, personal contact is essential. How? See, with respect to direct personal investigation, there is one-to-one interview that is being conducted. If I need to collect the data, I just need to first of all see undertake what are the area that I need to cover. So I told you that it covers only a small area, because it is not possible for me to cover entire Mansarowar or entire Jaipur, and I need to contact each and every person who is residing in Mansarowar or Jaipur, because there is a more than 20-25 lakh population residing in whole Jaipur. Even it is not possible for me to cover an entire small section of even Mansarowar. I just need to segregate a particular area that must containing only 20 to 30 to maximum 50 houses. So we can say if direct personal interview or direct personal investigation is being concerned, we just need to go for small area. The data will be original since I am obtaining the data from my own concern. I need to go to the person, and it means if I am expert, I have had the complete knowledge of that objective around the interview that need to be asked, then only we can say I can get that data that will be highly original, and that needs to be confidential. Confidential means it should be secure, secret and safe. Then it should be of high accuracy. Since it has been collected by me, if I am possessing an expertise, a good knowledge of collection of data, since I am not a local correspondent, I am not a local person who has been appointed to get the data collected. If I am going to have the data to be collected from some higher authority, I must possess the required skills to be communicated with the said authority. So, personal contact is necessary. As I told you, it will be one-to-one touch. If I need to get the data, I need to have the one-to-one relationship. So I just need to get interview from one person, then I'm taking the entire amount of information. Maybe it may be giving me more time to spend on that. Fine. So basically these are the features where we can say direct personal interview will be conducted, from one-to-one interview will be conducted, and I need to get information that will be rather more secure, more confidential, more accurate, more collisional in nature. So here are the merits. Merits tells you data is original, there will be high accuracy, flexibility. I can mold the question according to my own need, because I have framed the question here. If I have framed the questions, I can change the questions. Right. Since personal approach is there, I can mold the question as per the need of the person and mind. Additional information can be derived, since not only if I am deriving the sad information or sad content that I need to derive, I can obtain the other information also besides the main content that I need to have. So the more additional information can also be derived even with the sad information or sad content that I have to take from the concerned informers. Reliable, yes, it is very reliable, since it is been obtained by the person who is having a good source of knowledge. Then uniformity of data, since I am going to contact very few people, it means I need to contact or I need to get the information preferably in a very uniform way. If I need to ask a particular question from a particular person, first of all I need to segregate that these will be the person to whom I have to ask the same level of question, so that I will be able to get the required amount of homogeneous data. Since we told you that data must be homogeneous in order to get or facilitate comparison or statistics will be fulfilled. Okay. So these are the merits. Coming to demerits. Demerits will be not suitable for wide area. Definitely. It cannot cover the wide area, since it is not possible for me or anyone to cover very wide area. As I told you, it is not possible for me to cover Mansarovar or Jaipur. So it is not suitable for wide area. Yes, it is readily expensive, because then I am telling you that it will be used by the person who is having a good source of knowledge. That means the person would like to charge remuneration at a high cost. If they are going to pay him a very high amount, it means it will be expensive. Expensive in terms of time also, expensive in terms of cost also, money also. Since it will cost a time when we are having a one-to-one conversation, it means that conversation will take time. It may take an hour or more than an hour, and even it may take a day. Then expertise used only, as I told you. Personal bias, yes, I can mold according to my own ease, in order to satisfy my own personal needs, in order to make my image more positive in front of the director or the higher authorities. So now, if we come to the second method of primary sources, that is indirect oral investigation. It means this will be the method where there will be no personal contact with the informants. It means there might be a case where the informants are not reachable, or they might be illiterate, or they are not having the proper sound knowledge base of language that we want to communicate with them. So, if for example we need to visit a factory, we need to get information about the workers, and we cannot communicate in their own language, for this we just need to take the help of the supervisor or a factory manager who is in direct contact with them. It means who possesses the required knowledge and information with respect to all such informants that are workers, and he can give the respective information on their behalf. It means we can say this is indirect oral investigation. By this we can say it can cover the wide area, conducive where informants are illiterate or unreachable, or we can say where the expertise used only. It means where the information can be used from the experts only. Again, if I say we are visiting to the school and school authorities are having the required expertise knowledge about the students, and we need to take the knowledge of the students, right? what we can obtain the information from about the student from the respective coordinators or principal, right? So this is basically the second method where we can say the information with respect to informants can be obtained indirectly with the supervisor or the person who is possessing the required information about those informants that are either in the state of unreachability or illiteracy. Now, with respect to merits, we can say it covers wide area, less expensive, no doubt, expert opinion, and it's a better method than direct personal investigation. Since we can cover more and more informants, we can cover more and more areas, regions, right? If we know that the required supervisor or the required person who is having the knowledge of all the informants can give the information at once, it will be very economical for us in terms of time and money. So, with respect to demerits, we can say it's biased, no doubt. It means the information can be biased, let it be from the viewpoint of the worker, from the supervisor. Supervisor can or coordinator can give the information with respect to their favorite candidates, right? And it means we can obtain a biased information that may prove misleading results. Then we can say if we give you a misleading conclusion, it means the information will be less accurate. So these are basically the demerits of indirect rural investigation. Now, coming to the third method, that is informing from local sources and correspondent. This method is being followed usually in the where a TV journalist or a paper media is being followed. It means newspaper journalist, or we can say TV news editors and journalists, if they need the ready-handed regular course of information on the daily basis, we can say this method is rather more helpful for them. So we have just made this method as information from local sources or correspondents. Fine. If we talk about the correspondent features, it means where the continuous information is required, reasonable accuracy is desired. We just don't want that there must be complete level of accuracy. If it is, then it's really very better. But a reasonable accuracy can give the required information to be good. So covers very wide area. It means such method even can cover the entire India also. See, we used to watch TV news day on the daily basis and we get the information from entire region of India, from every state of India. How come? Through these correspondents who are just in the run of getting information from all the regions. If they were not there, we couldn't have got the information about how many patients of coronavirus are in India, basically. And this is the state who is having the highest number of cases, which is the state which is having the least amount of cases. Such information are being provided in the regular course of time by this method of correspondent or local sources. Okay. So with respect to merits, we can say it covers wide area, no doubt. Economical, yes. Continuous information is desired, absolutely. Reasonable accurate, yes. Suitable for general and specific purpose inquiry. It means the purpose can be particular also, can be not particular also. General news can also be there, specific news can also be there. Some favorable news can be obtained, unfavorable news can also be obtained. Right? So these are basically the merits. Come to demerits, we can say there will be lack of uniformity. It means data can be misleading. For example, if a train accident has been occurred, right? How many casualties have been obtained? It will not be provided. It will not be the same in more than one news channel. Every news channel will be provided a different amount of figures. So we can say through this method, it lacks uniformity of data. Data, if uniform, that is really questionable. Then personal bias, yes, the data can be manipulated even by a correspondent also, and from the informant from whom we are asking, even can be biased. So lack of originality, since we are obtaining from the source, right? We need to be in contact with the field. If it will be obtained as original, that is better. Since it is passed on from local correspondent to higher correspondent to main editor to senior editor and then going to publish it to the newspaper, it means it will lack originality. Then delay in getting data seldom. It means there might be a case many times when if the news gets delayed or if the information to be passed got delayed, it means it will not be published in the next year or in the upcoming news or next day or upcoming news section. So basically this is the method of information from local sources or correspondent. The fourth method that we are going to have is information through questionnaires and schedules. Questionnaire means basically we need to prepare a set of questions that need to be put forth among informants so that the required information can be obtained reasonably. For this we can prepare open-ended question also and closed-ended question also. What is the meaning of open-ended and closed-ended? Means open-ended question requires the person or the informant to explore himself with respect to the question. It means he can give answer according to his own views. Whereas closed-ended question will making him bound to give just a reasonable option. It means we just need to provide him the multiple choice question options and he needs to select one out of four. That will be closed-ended, means he is bound to answer as per our choice and preferences. Okay? So we can say questionnaire and schedule of this method can be segregated into different methods. One is mailings, one is enumeration. Mailing method is basically concerned when we just need to draft mails by post or by online, by which we can say emails. Or now today we are having a very suitable method, that is Google Form also. Google Form is also a very respected collection of data method, right, by which we used to present some brief questions, right. A questionnaire is put forth in the Google Form and the respective respondents are required to fill that form and submit without disclosing their identity. So we can say a mailing method is basically concerned with drafting or preparing a set of questionnaire and mailing them either by post or by online, right, or even by electronic conversation. Through telephonic conversation also we can transfer the set of questions, that is all concerned with mailings. So with mailing the features are it can cover very wide area. Yes, it means we can cover the area from Kashmir to Kanyakumari even. And if we need to get the information, we just need to see the person should be well educated. It means the informant must be educated. It means our area will be restricted to the informants who are educated and literate. So we are not going to ask information from illiterates or the person who cannot give the required information to us since he cannot read and write. Now, with respect to marriage, wide area, yes. Economical, absolutely, since there is a very least cost that is going to be incurred by this method. Since we just need to draft questions, but it lacks flexibility, that is going to come now. Then data originality can preserve, since if the person filling the Google form, he is going to present his own views and then just fill the form as and when he has completed all the questions. Then demerits. Demerits, first of all, lack of interest. I mean, if the person is not interested, he is not going to fill the questionnaire. Why he will fill? He will just make the time to be delayed and just physically procrastinate. I will fill later on. So when there is lack of interest, it means when he is not keen to fill the questionnaire by which has come through his mail or through Google form, it means the data will not be obtained suitably as we require. Lack accuracy, since the data can be manipulated. We told you that the originality, the person identity will not be disclosed, so the person can manipulate the questionnaire answers, solutions according to his own measure. So it can lack accuracy, or we can say there may be biased data. Lacks flexibility, definitely. Since when we have drafted the question, we cannot change the question since we have sent the question to the informants. It means the question when reached to the informant will not be changed by the person who has drafted the questions. It means there will be lack of flexibility and it is of limited use. Why limited use? Since it is pertaining to the educated informants only. Okay. Coming to the enumeration method. Enumeration method is that method where the set of questions are being prepared or questionnaire has been drafted and the person who is known as enumerator or is appointed as an enumerator personally goes to the informant to get the questionnaire filled. Many times before the lockdown, you have visited the Big Bazaar or Reliance Retail or many big retail houses where you have found a person who is after you in order to fill the required information questionnaire कि मैम प्लीज ये क्वेश्चनर भर दीजिएगा, ये हमारे SBI लाइफ इंश्योरेंस का है या SBI क्रेडिट कार्ड का है या क्लब महिंद्रा का है. Even when they are after you, they are just going to fill that questionnaire. It means again we can say the features are it covers wide area but it requires expertise, skills and knowledge. It means you cannot appoint any and everyone to just ask from the question. The person should have a very pleasing personality, should have a well language, decorum and behavior so that whenever he is going to ask any question pertaining to the questionnaire of his company, he must ask in a very pleasing mood. So, merits are wide coverage, absolutely, accuracy, yeah. Originality and data can be maintained in the questionnaire, just need to fill the questionnaire only, the data can be original as per the questionnaire drafted. Completeness, if the questionnaire has been put forth to the informants, it means all the questions are required to be filled by the informants. So it leads to completeness. Expert data, definitely when the informant is possessing good source of knowledge, it can lead to have expertise knowledge from the person. So these are the merits. If we come to the demerits, it leads to time consuming. Since person can lead to himself to the interview or investigation mode, so it can lead to more time consuming, or if the informants are not agreeing to a particular set of questions to be answered, it means if he can lead to a consumption of more time. Sometimes it happens when the informant doesn't agree for a particular question or for more than one question since they found it contradictory to their sentiments or to their religion or to their particular ideologies. So we can say at that time there may be time consuming and personal bias can be obtained. It is expenses, we need to appoint informants and informants again will be charging a good amount of money. Enumerate availability, it means it is really a challenge for the company who is going to make the collection of data through this enumeration system, right? That the required enumerators who is possessing the desired level of qualification and skill will be there or not. Do we able to have a required amount of enumerator who must be having a good source of knowledge? It is again a challenge for the company. It means it's again a demand for us. Unsuitability, it means it's not suitable for every user. So we can say these are basically the merits and demerits, and this is basically the primary sources of data collection, where we have seen the 4 different methods of data collection. Now students, in the next class we are going to have the secondary source, but before that we will be discussing questionnaire also. I told you what do you mean by the questionnaire. Questionnaire is basically a set of questions, right, that is being drafted. The questionnaire must be having a required qualities. Basically qualities are that there must be a minimum question. The language question must be very easy to understand and simple to follow. The question must not be very lengthy. There must not be any personal jargon, right? Any technical jargon which the informant cannot or does not understand. The questionnaire must be pertaining to the objective of inquiry. It means the questionnaire must be objective specific, right? The questionnaire must not lead to any confusion, must not lead to any aggression, must not be very time consuming. It should be rather more close-ended than open-ended, right? So these are basically the very few qualities of questionnaire that one needs to undertake while drafting the set of questions. Fine. And for again we can say the question must be interrelated and must be in a proper sequence of form. So these are basically the things that we have discussed with you in the collection of data, that is primary sources of data. In the second session, we are going to discuss the secondary source of data. So till then students, stay safe, stay healthy, stay alive, and thank you so much for joining the class with us. Thank you.